friends, it's Evelyn here. Welcome back to the channel, and as always I'm going to start with the most important thing. A huge thank you to everyone for continuing to support me on this journey. Please, if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you never miss a video. This week we are back to some pattern drafting and building on our basic bodice block. This week you're going to learn how to create a sleeve block. So grab your pattern drafting supplies, a cup of tea, and as always some kindness and patience, and come with Luna and I, who as always is fast asleep down here, on this lovely sunny day and create a sleeve block. To create your very own sleeve block to your individual measurements, you will need some paper, a ruler, a French curve is nice to have, although it's not essential, a pencil and eraser, a marker pen, and I will be using marker pen throughout so that you can see, but I do suggest starting off in pencil, also a tape measure, your paper scissors, and your bodice block. If you haven't yet created your bodice block, then please begin there, and there's a link above to the tutorial on how to do so. We only need to take a few measurements to create this simple block. To start with, our vertical measurements of shoulder point to wrist, shoulder point to desired 3/4 length sleeve, shoulder point to elbow, and shoulder point to desired short sleeve length. The last measurements are 3 circumference measurements, your bicep, elbow, and wrist, measuring around the fullest parts. My top tip for measuring these yourself is to pin your tape measure to your shoulder point, allowing you to measure downwards with ease. Begin by measuring to your wrist, then to your chosen 3/4 sleeve length, followed by your elbow, and finally to your chosen short sleeve length. Next, take your wrist measurement, your elbow measurement, and lastly your bicep measurement. When measuring, your tape measure should be around the fullest part and should be snug but not tight so as to not impede fit. Today we are creating a very basic sleeve, but that is a very good thing because it means we can adapt it easily to create any sleeve we like. There are lots of ways to create sleeve blocks. This is just the way that I have combined what I've learned over the decades, and it's been the most successful method for me. Also, be sure to check out the description box for a written précis of instructions. To begin, we need to know one other measurement, our armseye. To find this, we need our bodice block, and if you haven't yet created one, head on over to that tutorial first. You can find the link in the description box below this video. To find our armseye measurement, we simply use our tape measure to follow and measure the armseye lines on our front and back bodices. Now usually our front armseye should be no more than 1/2 to 1 inch larger than the back armseye, and the sum of both together should be at least your bicep measurement plus 1/2 to 1 inch of ease. However, if you have a particularly curvy figure or you used the front and back chest measurements rather than the full bust measurement to create your bodice block, then you may find that your front armscye is considerably different to the back armscye, and this is the case with my bodice block. To rectify this, we can do our very first pattern adjustments. Placing a piece of paper underneath your front bodice block, you can smooth out the curve like so, removing excess from the front armscye. If you like, you could divide the difference between the front and back armscyes, adding slight ease to the back armscye while removing ease from the front. The choice is entirely up to you. To begin drafting, plot a horizontal line along the bottom of your paper. This is your wrist line. In the approximate centre of this wrist line, square up a vertical line, plotting your shoulder point to wrist measurement. The top of this line is your shoulder point. Then square a horizontal line across this shoulder point. This is your shoulder point line. Then wait patiently for Evelyn to realise this is out of the shot. I promise that she does realise eventually. From the shoulder point, we are going to plot downwards on this vertical line, plotting our shoulder point to short sleeve measurement, shoulder point to elbow measurement, and shoulder point to 3/4 sleeve measurement, then squaring across each of these measurements. And watch while Evelyn finally realises this is out of shot. Hooray! The whole sleeve block is now in the shot, and you can see that I've already plotted my short sleeve line and my 3/4 sleeve line. The elbow line comes later. I think I possibly forgot it in all that camera kerfuffle. Next, we are going to plot the sleeve cap line. On average, the sleeve cap line comes between 5 and 6 inches below the shoulder point. So for the purposes of this simple sleeve block, we are going to plot the line 5.5 inches below the shoulder point, squaring across like so, creating our sleeve cap line. And there, our elbow line has also materialised. Next, we are going to plot our wrist measurement plus 1/2 inch of ease along our wrist line, plotting half of this measurement to the left of our vertical line and half to the right. We then do the same with our elbow measurement plus 1/2 inch of ease on our elbow line. And then the same with our bicep measurement plus 1/2 inch of ease along our sleeve cap line. Next, we will work on the sleeve cap. Take your total armscye measurement, so your back armscye plus your front armscye, and divide it by 2. You are then going to plot this measurement from the shoulder point diagonally down onto the sleeve cap line to meet your bicep measurement mark on both sides. Here you want to be adding ease rather than taking it away. So if you reach the sleeve cap line before your bicep point, simply draw your line to meet that point, adding ease rather than taking it away. We are then going to divide each of these armhole lines by 4, marking each quarter along the lines. This will help us when we create our armhole curves. We are now able to label the right hand side of our sleeve block as the front of the sleeve and the left hand side as the back of the sleeve, like so. Now for the armhole curves. Working on the front, at the first quarter mark, come out by 3/4 of an inch and make a mark. At the second quarter, come out 3/16 of an inch and make a mark. On the third quarter, come into the block 1/2 an inch and make a mark. Then connect all those marks together to create your front armhole curve. And here is one time when a French curve can come in really handy. By creating these armhole curves, we also add some ease to our armholes. So smoothing these curves not only helps to remove some of that excess, but it also helps when it comes to fitting our sleeves into our bodice. A less severe curve will be much easier to sew. Smoothing inwards rather than outwards here avoids adding any further excess. Gathering stitches across the top of sleeve caps are also used to help ease sleeves into bodices nice and neatly. And we will be using this technique soon on the channel when we create a beautiful spring layering dress using our bodice block. Onto the back curve, at the first quarter come out 5/8 of an inch and make a mark. On the second quarter come out 1/4 of an inch and make a mark. And on the third quarter come in by 3/8 of an inch and make a mark. Once again, join those points to make your back armhole curve. Once again, I have chosen to smooth out this armhole curve, but definitely experiment with what works best for you, and there's no better way to do that than to create a fitting muslin so that you can adjust any fitting issues to be perfect and personalised to you. The final thing we need to do to finish our sleeve block is to join our sleeve cap point to our elbow and wrist points. Here we are going to add ease rather than taking it away to create a nice true straight line like so. And your sleeve block should look a little something like this. don't forget to add your labels, and also don't forget that there is no seam allowance added to this pattern. It's your choice. You can either add the seam allowance around your pattern now, or like I do, just add the seam allowance as you cut out your fabric. The choice is yours. So there you go. Not only do you have your own bodice block now, but you now have a sleeve block to go with it too. There really are no limits to your creation when you have blocks like this in your arsenal. You really can create any kind of garment using these as a foundation. And there will be lots more pattern drafting coming up on the channel in the future. Also, if there is a particular style of vintage pattern or a beautiful picture that you really like the look of, let me know in the comments below or on my Instagram at the Evelyn Adore, and I will see if I can get drafting that for you. But until next week, bye bye.